Are you coming with us?
You'll get your answer soon enough.
How's it going, guys? It's Python Selkin here. Today we'll be talking about a very interesting subject, this time based on the God of War franchise. Following the reveal trailer of God of War Ragnarok, many fans were intrigued by the sudden appearance of Tyr, the Norse God of War himself, who despite not appearing in 2018's God of War, was of pretty great importance in its story.
This one mentions places I've never heard of. Seems Tyr really liked to travel.
Tyr believed the mind, not might, was key to preventing war and chaos. And he also knew visiting other cultures would give him perspective staying in one place could not.
Apart from the numerous references and stories in which he was mentioned, we also spent a significant part of the game inside Tyr's temple, where we learned of his travels to other pantheons in search of knowledge, wisdom, and peace. One of those was Kratos' own Greek pantheon, which means that Tyr must have surely heard of the ghost of Sparta up to this point, very much like Mimir did.
I'm dangling from the hip of the bloody ghost of Sparta!
Do not call me that.
Oh, don't mistake me, brother. From what I heard, the Pantheon had it coming. It's still a bit to take in.
Tyr is the son of Odin, which makes him a half-brother to Thor and Baldur. Unlike many of the other power-hungry gods, Tyr used his powers and abilities to seek peace between races. This led him to become very well trusted by the giants, who even gifted him with his magical bejeweled eyes made of Bifrost crystal, allowing him entry to all the realms. Tyr's relationship with the giants sparked friction between him and the Aesir gods, with Odin seeing him as a threat to his power, eventually leading to Tyr's imprisonment. Now this is where things get interesting. Very much like Tyr, in the past, Mimir also sought to establish peace between the realms, befriending many giants from Jotunheim in the process, to the point that he was also given bejeweled eyes in the form of Bifrost crystals, which made it more convenient for him to travel between realms. Suspected of aiding the giants, Mimir was imprisoned by Odin on Midgard's highest peak, where he was bound to an indestructible tree, spending the next century being tortured by Odin himself. Odin also plucked out one of Mimir's bejeweled eyes to keep him from traveling to other realms.
Odin made sure that no weapon, not even Thor's hammer, could free my body from these bonds. But fortunately, you don't need my body. The trick is, we need to find someone who can reanimate my head using the old magic.
Interestingly enough, both Mimir and Tyr were accused and imprisoned for practically the same reasons, that of collaborating with the Aesir's enemies, the giants, for peace.
Odin came to regard him as a threat to his rule. He suspected Tyr of collaborating to aid the giants instead of helping to steal their secrets for the Aesir. The same thing he accused me of, frankly. Though in Tyr's case, I believe he was right.
You think Tyr was helping the giants?
I do.
The only difference between Mimir and Tyr is that Tyr appears nowhere near as heavily imprisoned or tortured as Mimir was, which could raise a suspicion or two in the God of War franchise. Sure, Tyr may be Odin's son, but when it comes to betrayals, we really don't think the king of the gods would go easy on anyone who betrays the Aesir gods, or any other gods for that matter.
It did not have to be this way, my son. This path is of your choosing.
If this scene happens towards the end of the game, as some of you might believe, it doesn't make much sense as to why this was shown to the audience so early, and in the trailer for that matter, unless there's another truth behind it. From what we've seen in the trailer, from a storytelling perspective, Tyr being locked up in a couple of chains and imprisoned behind just another large door is pretty much Odin serving Tyr to Kratos on a plate. In other words, handing him over to Kratos very easily.
His eyes, they are jewels, like yours.
Considering Tyr was nowhere near heavily imprisoned as Mimir was, the fact that Tyr was left with both his bejeweled eyes intact, when we know Odin specifically plucked out Mimir's eye to keep him from traveling to other realms, raises even more suspicions that there could be more than meets the eye behind Tyr's rescue, and that it could all be part of Odin's plan.
Tell me again how Odin knew we were going to Jotunheim before we did.
Odin is extremely clever, you see. Nearly as clever as he thinks he is.
Let's not forget, Mimir warned Kratos about the Allfather holding tricks up his sleeves in Ragnarok's new trailer.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
Odin could be using Tyr to get to Kratos, perhaps in exchange for his own life, or for the life of someone he loves, or Tyr could be serving the Aesir gods under certain conditions. Being it's highly possible Tyr is already aware of Kratos' terrible past from the time he spent in Greece.
By the gods, why would Athena send one such as you?
Stay out of my head!
And knowing Tyr seeks nothing but peace, perhaps he believes Kratos will be the one to break that peace, by causing the foretold Ragnarok, the end of many of the powerful Aesir gods, just as Kratos once did in the past with his family of Greek gods.
The death of Olympus means the death of us all!
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon!
Both scenarios could eventually end up with the Norse god of war betraying the Greek god of war. If that's the case, we're pretty sure Kratos is ready for anyone betraying him these days.
I can hold on no longer!
Whether Kratos is going to be betrayed by Tyr remains to be seen, but what we do know for certain is that Odin surely won't be an easy challenge for Kratos and Atreus. He's the Norse All-Father comparable to Zeus from the Greek pantheon, and if we learned anything from previous God of War games, it's that we can surely expect some interesting twists and turns along the way.
The grave? In the middle of a battle? Who will occupy it, old man?
You will, my son. Now, only one remains.
Having said that, what are your thoughts on the matter? Should Tyr be trusted? Or do you think he could actually end up betraying Kratos and Atreus? What if this version of Tyr is actually the All-Father, Odin, in disguise? According to Norse mythology, Tyr should be missing an arm by Fenrir, and according to Mimir, these events should have already happened. Like Zeus, Odin is also known for his shape-shifting abilities. Many possibilities, and we'd love nothing more than to discuss this all with you guys. So whatever your thoughts and opinions are, we'd love to hear them in the comment section down below. Meanwhile, if you like this video and enjoy all things God of War, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll make sure to return the favor with content you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, Spartans, Python and Sulkin, out.